everybody. You are tuning in to day 4. We are talking about lights, camera, action. This is where we get to have a lot of fun with photography and videography. And I brought my dear friend Daphne Dixon with I Think Alchemy on with me today as we just have a great interview about what you should do with your photography and videography. We'll go into some different tips and so forth. If you haven't yet, download the PDF that Daphne has provided. She has some amazing tips for you as you're getting ready to go on your photography and videography journey in this personal branding that we're doing. So hello, Daphne. Thanks so much for being here today. Great
hello,
to have
everyone.
you. I know we have so many things that we want to share with you. I think the biggest obstacle that people have is they don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be on video. And today we're going to just share why, if you're building your personal brand, why it's so important that we get past that fear and we start to take those steps. Because as we said, when you're building a personal brand, people want to see you, and that's what we're talking about today. So Daphne, so great to have you. Let's talk about what are some of those fears that you see most often when you're talking to clients about, like, talking to them about getting on camera. What fears come up that you've heard, or let's talk about that for a little bit.
Insecurities. I've got a double chin. I've got this going on my skin, and I see this. It's those little things that they see that most of the time we don't, and the public see it. I need to lose 10 pounds, and it's just like, and they want to crawl back into this little ball that they've put around themselves, their armor of sorts. And but yeah, a lot of insecurities of just looking at themselves and how they see themselves. But I think that's just not the case. That's what we love about people.
And so much of what we do here with personal branding is really try to instill that confidence in you and boost that confidence and let you know that you are a beautiful soul. The world needs to see it, and you can't stay a secret for very long. So this is your chance to shine. And I know that, if you want something to change in your life, in your business, then you have to be willing to get past that fear, make the change, and keep going with it. So staying stuck, and I'll do it when I feel like doing it. I'll do it when I lose all that weight. I'll do it when my chin looks better. You could be waiting a very long time.
It's just another excuse to put it off, I think, when you do that to yourself. You're losing that opportunity to have those additional posts and actually showing your personality. That's your personality. Those little insecurities that people think they have, that's your personality. And I think it's being, what is it that, what was her name? Brianna's, it's like showing that vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Huge. That's huge. And I think that's what people love about one another, is going, oh my gosh, I can relate to that. Mm-hmm. As when you're like on Instagram, that's what people see. It's like, oh, I can relate to that person. I want to work with this person because she feels or he feels like this. And that's those relatable things, those little authentic things about you. That's what people can relate to.
And I think we've already established that perfection, especially on social media, doesn't get very far. Like, it's very overrated. People are over it. They want to know that you are a real person, that you are a human and you're not just this made up, like, photoshopped picture that you're putting up there. So again, we just want to reiterate of getting past those fears and just jumping in. And that's what we're here to help you do. Post. Okay. So next question is, when taking photos, what do you want people to keep in mind for usage?
For usage. Okay, so a good example with one of our clients, took over 600 photos and probably got a good 300-400 out of it. Some of them were somewhat similar, but at the same time, they're all different. We were taking photos of him and his child putting up socks, right? But it was like, and then there was a photo of him holding a sock, and every photo I'm looking at, I'm like, I'm coming up with captions myself, even though they were taken right after another. It was like he could repurpose them on different days. Him holding up his sock, it's like, which sock should I choose today? And then there's like, oh, just me and my kid out here hanging socks on my tree. Just something goofy and funny. Those are all repurposes. So those, you can post them forever, like throughout your profile or throughout your feed. So just repurposing. I mean, take a ton of photos. You're out and about and you see something cute, you can
Yeah.
repurpose those.
I think that people get stuck on, I just need the headshot and that's it. But what we like to do with clients is really look at lifestyle photos too, which when I look at lifestyle photos, they are full body action shots and candid shots. And just like Daphne is saying, being able to use those time and time again, it's not just a one-time use, it tells a story and you can keep doing that. Just like Daphne was mentioning, when you're working with a photographer, you're taking so many photos, but you can be utilizing it in so many different ways on your website, on social media, especially on social media, so that people get that personality that starts to come out.
And something to think about is there's a national day every day.
Yes.
We have 365 days of National Pet Day, National Pig Day, National Ice Cream Day. These are where those photos can be utilized. It's what you're doing in your everyday life. Those are your lifestyle photos, telling a story about yourself and what you love doing, what you enjoy doing, what you like, your hobby. I love coloring. I have never posted a photo of me coloring in a coloring book, but I do it every night, 30 minutes before bed. I'm sitting there coloring in a coloring book, and I'm like, wow, I've never taken a photo of this. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, I've never taken a photo of me sitting in my bed coloring. This is what I enjoy doing every night, just to unwind and slow my mind. So just stuff like that. Like now I'm going to set up for a photo shoot of me in bed.
With your coloring book.
Yes.
All right. So you recommend that people have a good variety of photos, headshots, also lifestyle photos, and that's what you bring to the table. So you can have a variety of professional and personal uses too. So yeah.
Yes, and a lot of with the executive photos, I think long has gone the typical, I'm in a suit, this is my pose, no, I think it should be more of who you are. Express more of yourself, I think, in the executive photos, whether it's outside, in the city that you love, or, this is your neighborhood, this is your favorite park. Those are, I think, better executive photos because, again, it's capturing who you are, the essence of who you are. You're feeling a little bit of that through that photo.
All right. So talking about photos, you said something when we were in a client meeting and it just made me laugh so hard, but I was like, such a great tip. You said to this client, I want you to Kim Kardashian yourself. Can you explain what that means and how that would help viewers that are tuning into this?
Where I thought that was watching an episode. If you ever watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, I know I'm airing out my guilty pleasure here. But there is something to say about that. There they are on the way to Khloe's arraignment, or I can't remember. She was going to court, and Khloe's going to court. And there's Kim sitting in the back of the SUV, and she's taking photos of herself, and she's just like trying to find the right angle and just clicking away. And I thought, wow, I need to start doing that myself because I don't know what my good side or my bad side is. And so I actually, took it up with Kim, but I think it's a great idea to sit there and take photos of yourself. That way, your angle, what side you like. And oftentimes I'll ask too. I'll be like, oh, what's your favorite side? Do you have a side that you take your selfie? Some people have to stop and think about that. And they're like, I don't know. I don't really take selfies. And it's like, I think you should practice. Take a look. Is it coming from the top? Is it coming from the bottom? Is there, some people don't realize, and it helps you to prepare for a photo shoot as well, because there you are sitting in the photo, and oftentimes people have a tendency to do this,
Yeah.
or this, and there's the double chin that they're seeing. No, throw your shoulders back, bring out your neck, take that selfie. Everything's elongated. Oh my gosh. You have that opportunity to practice your pose and prepare yourself for that photo shoot by taking selfies.
Yes.
That was what I meant.
Highly, highly recommend that. If you haven't taken photos in a while, that's such a great tip that Daphne shared. Not only that, but it helps you get that smile that you want on camera. Because, okay, so I know Daphne and I have worked with some clients, and we'll just say this. Daphne cannot Photoshop if you're stiff, if you're not smiling, if you don't like your smile. Those are not really things that can be photoshopped. And we're not, miracle workers. But just so you know, like if you're not comfortable with the smile that you have, that's something to work on pre-photo shoot so that you're ready, you're prepared, you're ready to go. All right. So, Daphne, this comes up a lot in question two. What are the great colors that I should wear? Like what, when I'm doing even videography and photography, like what should I wear in these things so that my face is lit up and I'm more confident? And, what are some of those tips that you can share with people watching?
Well, let's just come full circle. Let's bring Tabitha back into the picture.
Exactly. Tabitha from day 2, if you remember, we talked about color analysis and what colors mean when you wear them. So Daphne, give us some tips on what you'd recommend with that.
Well, I think you should stay true to yourself with your colors and your brand that you like. But at the same time, not being too bold about it, because that also can bleed through in the camera or through the photo. So it oftentimes, if you have that bright yellow that you love, show hints of it, whether it's in a jewelry piece or, maybe just splashes of it on your top. But don't go too crazy with a full-blown yellow shirt and just be like,
yellow
hey,
pants and yellow shoes.
That coordination,
yes,
don't over-coordinate.
That's huge.
But
so what do
stay
you
true to yourself.
And what do you recommend about, so Daphne, about accessories and so on? Should they be more minimal or should they be like in your face? What do you think about that?
I think that depends on the individual. Again, if you're somebody who's bold, who likes to wear the hoop earrings, or the big chunky earrings or the big chunky block necklaces, if that's you and that makes you feel comfortable, bring it. Let's see what we can do with it, how we can incorporate it into the photo shoot. Maybe it is too big. Maybe we could, move that necklace onto a bracelet and do one of these, just something, but bring it. Let's see how we can incorporate it, because at the end of the day, we want to bring you through those photos. That's what we want to do. So, I know sometimes with most corporate headshots, it's like we don't want too much. We want just the typical suit or jacket for women and a nice shirt on the bottom, button-up shirt. But I think you should incorporate yourself into that. Maybe add that little chunky necklace to that suit.
Yeah, or those fun, colorful heels. That's what I like. Like there's some fun shoes on. Like if you're wearing dark colors or you're wearing, if black is really your thing, then just dressing it up with some pops of color will make a big difference in your photos too.
Yes, exactly.
Good. All right, let's move into when prepping for a photo shoot. You want to be able to meet with that photographer and have a pre-production meeting. What should be discussed in that pre-production meeting so that you're ready on the day that you're ready to go?
Location. How many outfits you're allowed to bring. Oftentimes it's best to just, if you're going to do pants, or a skirt, maybe have the tops change differently, and then 2 or 3 or 4 times, and then the bottoms, you go from a skirt to pants, or jeans, for that matter. I'm a jean girl. Oh,
me too. Total jean girl.
Yeah, I'm sorry, maybe it's going to be, a party on top and, jeans on the bottom. That's just how I'm going to go. But again, that's my personality. That's who I am, whether I'm in an executive role or not. That's who I am. That's how I carry myself. So, and they're going to be nice, clean jeans.
Yes.
Because I do have the holy jeans too, but they'll be the nice, clean jeans that I'll be wearing that day. But now I'm differing from the question. What was the question again?
Yeah, so we were talking about when you're meeting with your your photographer and videographer, because it could be the same person sometimes. You want to make sure that you are having those pre-production meetings so that you are prepared. Your photographer and videographer knows exactly what we're doing, like what is the game plan. So in a pre-production meeting, we're talking about location, we're talking about wardrobe. You brought up a good point too, Daphne, about having some different wardrobe changes, some shirts, some pants, some skirts, whatever it is. Even your shoes could be changing. But also, we like to say, even with men, because men, it's just usually a shirt and a pair of pants and some shoes. But having that jacket, having something, layering your clothes so that you can have a couple of different styles. Your shirt could be open, your shirt could be closed, whatever it is, but you have that extra shirt underneath, or that sports coat. Like, I love that photo where your sports coat's like, you kind of fling it around to your back, and it just shows another personality and another great action shot for clients.
And I think the other is discussing it through, as far as like with lifestyle photos, especially, you want to also incorporate props.
Yes.
What you love to do, what do you do on a daily, what's your daily life like? What do you enjoy doing? What are your hobbies? Oh, you love your cat. Oh my gosh, let's bring your cat in. Oh, you love your little dog. Let's bring the dog in. Oh my goodness, I have a pig. I'm not going to bring him on my photo shoot because he'll get angry. I will take his photo separately. But I love to go to the movies. I love sitting there with a tub of popcorn and a soda. That's like a binge for me. I love and enjoy doing that. So I may want to have some of that in my photos. I also like to ride a bike. Maybe bring a bike and show that side of you. Just depends. Sit there and discuss that with your photographer and how far you want these photos to last, the longevity of this photo shoot. So that would be something else.
Absolutely. So just a quick tip on that. I have a client that I'm working with right now who, in learning about him and his personal branding, he said he's a CrossFit guy, he's vegan, he likes brownies that don't taste like brownies and are not brownies. He loves his dog. He has these certain things. I mean, he's very well traveled. And so when you're having a conversation with the client on their personal branding, you're really trying to pull a lot of those things out. So your shots are not the same as everybody else's. Just like Daphne's talking about, your personality and those passions that we talked about even on day one, they start to bring themselves out. And then you can utilize those things to tell stories in your photos. And just as Daphne mentioned, you want to be looking at your photos as something that is really long-term for you, that you can keep repurposing. You're not having to, reinvent the wheel every time, because you have those in your arsenal. You have those in your toolkit. So good stuff, Daphne. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's switch over to video, because I want to talk a little bit more about when it comes to video. I know a lot of people tend to get on a camera and they're a little freaked out because, that red dot is looking at them in the face. Like, what do you recommend for people who are a little bit shy on getting on video? Can you give us some tips on how to ease in and how to get more comfortable? And I know you're going to say it's practice and Kim Kardashian that, but anything else that you want to share with people on some tips on just easing into video, even if it's not being done professionally, it's just being done on their phone. What would you share with them?
Just get up and do it.
Yeah, simple,
Literally,
isn't it?
It is just getting yourself comfortable with being uncomfortable. I've personally had to do it myself, and I would come up with excuses, bad lighting, from that photography perspective, or from, this isn't looking at. No, I finally just have come out and done it, and that's really what you have to do. I mean, you just have to do it every day. Again, practicing, doing the Kim Kardashian. take a video of yourself, see how you sound. See, it's very hard to watch yourself or even listen to yourself, but it's beneficial for you at the same time because you learn from that. You learn how many times you go, is, and all those little things. So, again, it's just practice, getting yourself comfortable, doing it at home by yourself, I think is huge. It's, there's no one there. Yes, it's just crunching. It's like nails going down the chalkboard. I know because I've done it. I'm just like, okay, I have to listen to this, but it helps you. It better prepares you to actually go live somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just going out and doing it and putting yourself out there, especially on social media, because that's who you are. I think a lot of people are afraid. They're like, oh, I've got to be, so perfect. And it's like, no, that's who you are. That's who we love. That's why we come to follow you, because of your quirkiness, or, because you say these funky, funny things. And I think it's just about going out and just doing it. Just taking that step and jumping off the ledge. I jump, you jump.
Yep. I jump, you jump too. All right. Okay. So I know that people have asked this in the past. What's some great equipment as you're just getting started? And it doesn't have to be crazy expensive because you already have these things in your toolkit. So what would you recommend for people to just get going on video?
Well, everyone has a phone, I'm guessing, because we can't live without these anymore. But in your phone, when you first purchase your phone, you also get some earbuds as well nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You have everything you need. You can plug that in. That's your mic, and away you go. Sometimes often people like the little lighting as well, to have the lighting on there. But if you're outdoors, find a nice shaded area, not too shady, where there is some sunlight coming in, so you do have that lighting. Like I'm noticing, do you have a ring light on there?
I have a ring light, yes, right now I do. And I do have one of those little tiny ring lights that just attaches to my phone, as well as the mic. And I found that sometimes I can use my other mic, or the mic on the phone works really well too.
Yes.
The other thing that I say is I cannot live without this. And I've shared this a lot with people, but oh my goodness. I mean, mine was like $7. You have one too, and it's just the tripod selfie stick. So you guys see it just opens up like so. I do a lot of video in my car, and it has made a world of difference of just being able to put this up on my dashboard so I could talk hands free, so I'm not selfieing it like this and my hands shaking, and so this is such a great investment if you are doing video and incorporating that into your personal brand. All right, okay.
And I think mine was $12, but mine came with a remote. So I can, take photos from, set myself up if you're by yourself.
Sure.
If you're feeling it.
Yeah, mine actually has a little remote too for Bluetooth. So, being able to utilize this so simple tool. Another thing that I learned, another great tip that I want to share with everybody, is on your phone, just even putting a Post-it note on the front, because a lot of times what freaks us out is that we're looking at it and we see ourselves talking and we're like, ah, but if we just cover that so we don't see ourselves and we're just talking like normal, that's another great tip. Okay. So, all right, now moving into just doing some professional videos, I want you to share some of your best tips, Daphne, because we do a lot of videos with clients, and what's the one thing that clients love to do when they get on a video?
Make faces.
Make faces. I was
dance.
Gonna say dance or ramble. And so, talk to us a little bit about, like, again, being prepared for when you're getting on video. What should you have? How can you better prep for just making sure that your message is succinct and you're coming across nice and clear?
Bullet points. Write everything out. Kind of go through. Tisha likes to write a whole script. I personally am a bullet person, so I like to go boom, boom, boom. These are the topics I'm going to talk about. I'm going to discuss. I want to make sure I hit those key points, and maybe have it off to the side, or again, use the back of the sticky note. So that way the sticky part sticks on your phone, and maybe have that if you need to reference that as well. So yes, definitely have a script or an idea of what needs to be discussed. Otherwise, you just go, woo, and then lose track of what your purpose of being on this video is for. And I think a key thing, especially if you're on social media, I think one of the things is just offering your followers something, some type of substance, as well as also a call of action. So they know where to go after after you have this video. Oh, I'm going to go into their bio for the link, or, I need to, do this next. So
Right.
just making sure you have a call of action as well.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about having bullet points, making sure, and I would say, stick to about 3 bullet points if you want in your scripting. I do like scripts because I feel like it just gets me prepped for that. But just as Daphne said, having bullet points just keeps your mind of, okay, these are the things I want to talk about so I don't stray and just this becomes a 50-minute video. Like, we really want to keep the videos succinct and to the point with a very strong call to action. I love that point too about using that Post-it note and just writing those things out, just to jog your memory of what is it that you wanted to talk about, so you hit those points as well. Okay, another quick question for you. Vertical or horizontal on video? What do you recommend? Because I know that certain platforms like vertical, certain platforms like horizontal.
Again, this depends on, I guess, what you're doing. If you wanted to go in your story, reels, they take that full vertical, and it looks, or now horizon. Okay, vertical. That's how I remember it. Horizon, vertical. So that's good for it. Oftentimes, if you're going to make a little bit more of a lengthy video, then I do recommend the horizontal view. So that way that goes into your feed differently. A reel is usually 15 to 30 seconds. And typically that's 30 seconds, I think, is the maximum amount of time to capture your audience and to keep them in tune with you. Otherwise, if you want to do, I think, more of a video, I think that a horizontal look, and by that I mean something a little bit longer, even 30 seconds is kind of long. So it depends on what you're doing too. So again, I think more professional people look at it horizontal. But if you're just out having fun and you just want to share your day, I think vertical. It seems to be more popular nowadays. It used to be the other, even last year. So now that's changed with TikTok coming out. So and Reels.
So just making sure on the platforms that you're using what looks the best, and going with that. All right. Last question, Daphne, and then we're going to wrap this up. And don't forget, Daphne has a great PDF with all sorts of tips and tricks and so on that you can download. But I get this question a lot. How often should you update your photos? Because I meet people and I was like, that photo that you have doesn't really look like you anymore. And they will tell me it's 10 years old. I'm like, oh, okay, it's 10 years old. So how often do you feel that people should, update their photos, get new photos?
Once a year, at least, maybe even 6 months. And like for me, I chopped off all my hair one day, not even thinking about anything, not even thinking about my brand. I was just like, I'm tired of my hair. I'm going to chop it off. And then I'm looking at my photos and I'm like, didn't think that through. I should have thought that through a little bit. Now I've got to update all this stuff. So I guess when that happens, I would like to make sure that my audience knows this happened to me. This is what I look like now. So when you do see me, this is what you're going to get. You're not getting me, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. This is actually who I am. So especially if you're selling or you have touch points, you're actually going to physically meet the client or have a Zoom call, I think you should really make sure that that's updated to most recent or current yourself, because when you do actually meet this person, you want to make sure that this is what I look like.
Hey, that's a great tip too. All right. Well, Daphne, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today and talking about some tips and tricks for videography and photography. And if you have any questions at all, I will drop Daphne's information below. And thanks so much, everyone. And Daphne, appreciate it. Appreciate you sharing all of your great know-how with us.
And don't forget, practice, practice. Kim
Practice,
Kardashian it.
practice. Yeah. Hey, that's going to be a great trend right there. Kim Kardashian it. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.